We got ourselves team 2 we got ourselves Proximal as an arcane mage by the looks of it, with Catalysator as a boomy. We got ourselves Catalysator, Catalyst Stone, so familiar. Fruity Dad with that fire, and we even got an Outlaw with gems. Versus the other team, we got ourselves Rage, we got ourselves Vidima as a fire, we got ourselves Mufasa as a feral. I mean, of course, with a name like Mufasa. Oh, please bow to cat for unless you're doing, my man. Thank you so much, Zaraya, as well as Sivguire? Sif? We'll call it Sif. Sif versus Catalyst. And Catalyst actually playing the Demonology. I was thinking for some reason Destruction. Ooh, that Scyther's Affliction looks so wicked though. And that's going to be Sif in kind of a tough spot right now. Playing the Frost, DK, gripping in Catalyst with a Mortal Coil, setting him in the other direction. Is trying to go for a bit of a fear. Stun coming out. Catalyst going in for a fear. Looks like Sif doesn't have Lichborn anymore. Actually, the DK is under a lot of pressure, and Catalyst should be able to land a stun with a Tyrant, as Sif does go for last bastion of defense with the Death Pact. But that's going to put him basically on a death's door. Lichborn available, doesn't really have a lot of self kills unless he has a lot of runic power, but not a lot he can really heal for right now. Actually might be able to go for a death strike or 2 death call. No, it looks like that is going to be the Warlock getting out of there while the pets are tearing up the DK. By the time he knew what was happening, it was over. Mufasa up next, getting an opener on another cat of his kind. As Catalyst goes in for a while, perfect opportunity for him to maybe get some CC onto the Feral Druid as he just getting shredded. Mufasa getting hit with a Mortal Call into a fear as Catalyst goes in for a nice Drain Light, but it's an opportunity for him to also get some pets up and running as well. Doesn't have the Gateway for a bit. Does he have the port back up? He does have the port back up, so should be able to get away from Mufasa before the damage ramps up so high. And Mufasa is actually under quite a lot of pressure with all those pets, but before Dampening rolls in, the healing for a Feral is quite massive, as it's going to be Catalyst dropping down a bunch of curses onto Mufasa. Trying to see if he might be able to get a stun or maybe a fear. Bash coming up from Mufasa. Doesn't go for the big damage here. Catalyst is taking lots of bites back to back. The Warlock Hellstone does come in. And I think Mufasa just went for a Shadow Melt for a second. Mufasa trinketed something. I'm not really sure what the trinket is. Stun to Mufasa. Does Catalyst have himself a setup? He does not have a go just yet, but at least he's trying to get some pets up and running. Another Shadow Fury out of a stun. So raw to follow onto Mufasa as he goes in for a Bear Form with a Frenzy Regeneration, trying to recover a little bit of health. Does still hold on to wall. I think might have used the Bark Skin just there too. As Catalyst is going to go for a bit of a port right now, just messing around with Mufasa. The imps are doing a bit of damage to the Feral Druid. What happened to the pet from Catalyst? Oh wait, there he is. I thought he died. Second, Felguard coming out. Maybe that's going to be a setup. Does he have another stun to follow? He does have another stun to follow. Tyrant coming out. Does he have a Mortal Coil? He does not. Mufasa just trying to bail away from Catalyst. If those pets can catch up, if the Tyrant can somehow swing around the other corner, he might be able to get quite a big few slabs back to Mufasa. 2 casts. And Mufasa did take a bit of damage there, but he is ranging the pets completely, just denying any kind of damage for Catalyst. I think Catalyst needs to have himself a proper setup next time he has a Tyrant. Double stun, no DRs, as well as a Mortal Coil. He needs a Mortal Coil into a stun, Or no, stun, Mortal Coil, and let the Tyrant get some slaps. As long as he knows that Mufasa does not have a trinket. But Catalyst is going to have to play the low, slow game with those pets, hoping that the pets do enough damage to Mufasa while kiting him around. As long as he can get those pets up and running with a Vile Fiend and everything, he might be okay. Mufasa just outraging those pets with just incredible mobility. Trade coming out for Catalyst. Needs to get an interrupt onto Mufasa. Does land the interrupt on the Convoke. The Convoke didn't do the big damage abilities of the bat. Looks like maybe it gave Mufasa some kind of a reset up or maybe a bleed onto Catalyst. Probably was a rejuvenation setup or regrowth. As Catalyst continues to get more and more pets up and running. What kind of a legend does Catalyst run, by the way, as a Demonology? Because I don't think Warlocks in PvP run the legendary that a lot of other Warlocks in PvE run, where when you or your pet do damage, it can empower the other person. Mortal Coil into Mufasa as he goes there for a big leap for Catalyst. At least Catalyst so far been able to deny a lot of the damage for Mufasa. But having this ramp up here, having the Felguard go up and down the stairs all the time does deny the Felguard a lot of free damage. So for Mufasa, this is a good setup. Even though Catalyst does get himself great mobility here, it's still tough. Stone into Mufasa does just trinket it into a Skull Bash onto Catalyst. Catalyst can still go for a good setup with damage. damage. Trying to land a fear onto the Feral. Re-stealth comes out, and Catalyst is under a lot of pressure yet again. The wall is back up and running. And should be able to get himself a Vilephin, maybe even a Tyrant. Needs more pets. Stun onto Mufasa. He does have another pet up and running too. Maybe Mortal onto Mufasa. Needs himself the Tyrant. Is going to get the Tyrant either way. He kind of needs to keep Mufasa out in the open. Mortal, the Tyrant does not attack him. What's the Tyrant doing? He gets in melee range. Maybe finally he'll get some slaps. Maybe the Tyrant will perch up above and maybe start doing damage from somewhere up high. Maybe gets one cast. He did not get a single cast. Catalyst at least attaches a life drain onto Mufasa, but he's just still in so much trouble. The Feral can just outrange and outrun all these pets constantly. Catalyst needs some massive heal and recovery right now. With those roots, Mufasa is just like, okay, hold on there. Hold your horses. Let me root you for a second. Let me go back up. Then we can duel. I don't know if Catalyst can come out of this alignment. We are at the 5-minute mark. 3% dampener. Not high enough dampening for Catalyst to have a bad time, but he is still just under a lot of pressure. Mortal yet again onto Mufasa. Needs even more pets to just DPS down Mufasa. Also needs a Tyrant. In 30 seconds, he might be able to make something work. Stun onto Mufasa with Soul Rod available. Is that going to be enough damage altogether? Mufasa looking to chase Catalyst, but again, just going to dip away from all those pets. Does Mufasa go for a leap? He does go for a leap, still avoiding all those pets as they have it to run up and down the stairs. Up and down, over and over and over. Catalyst goes in for a gateway. He has mobility, if anything. This guy can outrun a Feral for quite a while. Trick gets out of that stun. That's going to be the big convoke. Does get interrupted before it ramps up too hard into a maim onto Catalyst. Does he have anything? Catalyst at least has time to go down. And the Shadow Fury continuing to summon as many pets as possible. With those pets are just so weak without a powerful big boy Tyrant. The Tyrant comes out. Does Mufasa stay? Does he go for the finishing kill? Does he stay in and fight? Maybe Catalyst can make something work off this. Mortal Coil or stun or anything. If you can only stun Mufasa out in the open with the Tyrant, he might be in a good spot. As the regrowths come out from Mufasa looking for a bit of that recovery. Looks like the recovery is not as big anymore. Has to go for Frenzy Regeneration. Big old port coming out for Catalyst. Mufasa burns his mobility maybe a little early. It's going to be Catalyst with even more mobility. Stun to Mufasa, forces to trick it out of him. Mufasa is actually kind of low. His second Felguard joins the fight. Wait, this could be bad for Mufasa. Does he go in for the killing shot? Does he go for the finishing hit? Catalyst might be able to make Mortal Call him out. Does go for a drain life. Mufasa trying to recover health. As two Felguards approach, the regrowth is coming out. It looks like he might be able to catch up on health. Catalyst might be able to maybe have one more go here because he's just drained of all defensives. Bash onto Catalyst. Mortal Call onto Mufasa. At least recovers a little bit of health with the fear. And where's that Felguard running off to? Does he just have a Felguard maybe positioned in a specific spot? Maybe. Stun into Mufasa right after. Not enough pets to really do damage. Wait, maybe he has enough here. The Soul Rod. It looks like he takes down the Feral. Wait, the pod. He needs to DPS the pod. Do the pets have enough damage to the pod? Zarya backing out, seeing the pod. Does the Feral? He does not survive, and Zarya is on top of Catalyst. Opening up as a Night Fae sub-rogue. Vanishing with the Shadow Blades. Catalyst has a dot ticket on him. Is he going to go for a port away from the rogue? Wall coming out as a Kindred Shot comes in. Does he go for the stun? Does he have anything to stop this rogue at that cheap shot? As he has a wall. How is this Warlock still alive right now? Stun onto Zarya. Does he have a Mortal Call to combo? Actually does not. He's going to go for a Drain Life instead. Zarya, Cloak of Shadows coming out. If Catalyst can land a Mortal Call and CC chains Zarya, he'll be in a good spot. Mortal Call comes out as a blind comes in. Trick us out of it, sending the pets in there. Actually, might have Zarya down. No Vanish available for the Rogue. Does he survive the Rogue just by a hair? The pets are doing as much damage as they can as Zarya goes down. How is this Warlock still alive? And Vidma almost getting snapped with a stun. Does he interrupt this? Reflect on that combustion. Vidma doing damage back to himself. Catalyst just continuing to pump out damage. I think it's going to be over the pod comes in. Does he have the pet stun to stop the damage? If he has the pet stun right now, he could stop the damage. Looks like he does not. And Vidma taking him out. How did that Demonology Warlock survive for as long as he did, boys? How does that even happen? Zarya's Outlaw? Was he really? I thought Zarya... No, Zarya, look, you can see at the bottom left. You can see Zarya at the bottom left. He is Subtlety. Shadow Blades, dance, everything. That's going to be a getting caught outside of form. So that's going to be free poly. Chickens into a roar onto Vidma. Just needs a little bit of damage to take Vidma down. Bash. It looks like Vidma still has Icebug, still has Cauterize. And there goes that Cauterize with an Icebug to recovering all that held back. And Kata should be able to turn it around quite easily against the Mage, as the Mage has nothing left. That Warlock survived for so long, though. Did that Warlock defeat 3 people back to back? Is that what happened there? Was that 3? That feral duel was so clutch. G-Pie coming out for Vidma should be able to do quite a bit of damage. Big old Barskin available for Kata though. As he goes in for bear form, Fred's in regeneration. The druids, man, are so taken now. Trying to see maybe he can go for a cyclone off of that alter time, denying Vidma any kind of heals. But Vidma catching up on health either way. Poly onto Kata. Can't do Poly while he's in boomy form. The star form is the boomy form. That's going to be big carry setup for Kata. Big damage coming out. Star Surges should be huge. Vidma not in a good spot. Big Star Surges, 3 of them. If there was a 4th Star Surge, that would have been game over by now. Dust of the breath for Kata. Does not go for a Poly. And Kata should be able to power shift out of all those roots quite easily. Vidma trying to sprint out of here. At least has a shield back up and rolling. But can't really do much against the boomy at this point. I think with the dots catalyst it does have him. Just trying to see if he can burn through his shields. Big combustion coming out as Vidma. Just trying to go for their all-in strap. But I think with the dots they just burn out. And Kata, as long as he focuses out some damage onto this pod, he shouldn't have any issues right now. Trying to get some Star Surges into the pod. The dots and everything. It looks like the pod is going to go down with Reggie. Going to be the last one left as an arms warrior charging in on his rightful steed. And Kata, even though he got the weapon thrown at him, lands a prowl anyway. Interesting. Very interesting. I've noticed that the druid prowl, if they have, like, let's say, an ability mid-air and you stealth, it doesn't get the druid out. But with a rogue with stealth, it'll get you out immediately. Well, actually, now with the shield that rogues have, I don't think it'll get you out. But still, either way, it's going to be Rage going for a massive duel. Massive damage onto the balance druid. While in defensive stance, Avatar throwing in the spear of Bastion, burning right through him. That was crazy. Absolutely insane opener. Jim's going in for plunder armor onto Rage. Looking just like the boy. He's like, yo, I like your mog. Mind if I take it? Get a shot into Rage. Does give himself a reroll of Roll the Bones. Rage actually under a lot of pressure. Does he go for parry? Might have to go for a parry as Jim's has a lot of damage available. Rage, though, somehow generating some heals. Looks like Jim's doing some damage all of a sudden. Parry available for Rage. Looking to turn it around onto the rogue. Jim's Cloak of Shadows coming out. Does he have evasion? Rage can't really get too much damage to Jim's. Almost has him in an execute range, though. Does he get him? Blind coming out onto the warrior. And Jim's catch himself probably a restealth most likely. Yep. With a sap Rage could maybe somehow get him out. Does someone get the rogue out with an execute at the end? And looks like Proxy is going to be up next. Does Rage have any mage food? If the mage should have given him some food, actually. If Proxy is allowing him to get some recovery. If Rage has mage food, he actually could go for a full honorable duel here. Looks like he doesn't need it. Just gonna get a big old charge of the Proxy. Playing against an Arcane Mage though. Drink coming out for Proxy as he goes in for a massive Viz. Rage was on top of him for just a second. With the Spear of Bastion coming out. Does he have anything for that touch of the Magi? As long as he gets some damage back to Proxy and deny any kind of burst, might have to go for a Reflect here. Maybe interrupt onto a Arcane Missiles. Big damage onto Rage. Takes a lot of damage, but he's still trucking in defensive stance. It looks like does get taken out by Proxy at the very end though. That was a full burst out of an Arcane Mage. And that was Rage actually with 2. Kata with only 2? No, Kata has to be 3. Kata had to be with 3. Right? Wasn't it? I thought Kata had 3. Maybe Kata had 3, but one of them was a pod. And then the pod wouldn't work that way.